What's going on, everybody? In the studio, and we are still talking video stuff, and we're going over a topic matter that seems fairly simple, but there are lots of questions about it. And it's simply how to properly charge for the real estate videos you produce. Let's go. All right, y'all, let's jump right into it. And the first thing I want to talk about are the two different pricing structures that you'll see very common in the industry. One is very common and it's roughly 75% of people out there. And the other one is less common, but you do still run across it. Now, the very first one I'm going to talk about is the most common one, and that is simply time of produced video. Now, every area of the country is different. Every country is different. So I can't give you exact pricing on what you should particularly be charging for your video, but I am going to break down all the pricing structures and how I came up with my personal pricing for video. And hopefully you can apply the same technique or formula, for lack of a better term, to your own video productions to figure out exactly what you need to be charging. So as I just said, the very first way to do it is time of produced video. This is how I personally charge my clients for everything, but I'll also tell you about the second way you can do it, and that is time of production. So some people also charge two separate rates, a editing fee and a filming fee. So they charge for the amount of hours on site behind the camera, and they charge for the amount of hours behind the computer editing at two different rates. This is common in multiple industries when it comes to video and filming, and so it's kind of creeped its way into real estate as well. But like I said, this is a much less common way of operating. Most people in the real estate industry are producing films by minute of finished footage. So is your film 1 minute long? Is it 2 minutes long? Is it 5 minutes long? It's all based upon that. And like I said before, that's how I personally charge my clients. I do it all based on delivery time, and I have different fees for different things. So how should you come up with the number that it's gonna cost you? Well, I did it the same way I figured out my photography rates, and I did it by figuring out exactly how much time I spend on that task. If you've ever seen my past real estate videos, then you know when I talk about photography, I'm going to talk typically about a 3,000 square foot house. That is my generalized description of typical for my area that I live in. So when you hear me say the word typical, you know I'm referring to 3,000 square foot or below. Everything above that gets an extra surcharge. So 3,000 square foot typical property. Let's go. When we're talking about a typical property for photos, it takes me roughly 30 to 45 minutes on site if everything is put together and ready to go when I arrive. And it takes me another 15 minutes to 40 minutes on post-production, just depending on how difficult it was. Usually it's on the lower end. So it's about 50 minutes it takes me, not including drive time, to shoot and edit per house. So the way I charge my real estate photography is basically, what do I need to make an hour to make a living wage, right? And that's what I'm going for. So I'm charging people by the hour really when it comes to my photo services, and that's how I come up with my price. So that's the same way I did it for video. I determined how much time it takes me on site. So it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do photo. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour and a half to do video. If there's no drone involved, drone equals more time, which also equals more money charged the client. I don't give away anything. I let them choose what they want. So my video starts at $250 per minute. That's how I personally charge my video time. Now, my pricing is kind of based around that minute of deliverable footage. So if an agent wants to be in the video, not only does it increase the time of the video that I have to produce, but it also increases the workload behind the editing end. So I do a surcharge for including agents. For me personally, that's $100. If you want to be in the video as an agent, it will just cost you $100 extra. I will bring the lights, I will bring the video equipment. All you have to do as an agent is pre-produce the script that you want. The more intricate their walkthrough or their want to be in the video is, usually the higher the minute production. So that's where you're really getting higher prices. So my basic photo and MLS package, I will give a discount of $50 if they get them both together and include drones. So if you get all three of my services, you're getting a small discount. That's worth it to me because I'm making much more money on one property. And like I said, everything for videos is done by me for a production value timeline. Let's take a break for a minute.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So now that you have all that information, you can hopefully start wrapping your mind around how much time it takes you to make a video and how you should charge according to that time. As I said, I offer discounts for multiple services because this allows me to spend way less on gas, also from not having to drive around to so many properties. I go to one property in the morning, I do photo, video, drone there. I go to one property in the afternoon, photo, video, drone there. Then I come back home, edit it all. It is a long night, but that's okay because that's what this business is. It's getting money when there's money to be made. So when it comes to pricing your video, like I've mentioned a few price points in this video, just so you know, I'm in the Raleigh-Durham triangle area in North Carolina. So that's just where my pricing structure comes from. The generalized house in this whole area can go from $150,000 to $1 million. Our price range is all over the place, but it seems like our average price point on market is between $350,000 and $650,000, somewhere around there. So that'll tell you what the agents' budgets are that are looking for these films. Luxury listings are usually longer and they require more money put in. They want a longer film, 4-minute long film. That's what a lot of luxury agents want because they also want to be in it talking about it. This is a difficult sell because it's a lot of money for agents to put up front. And your whole job is to sell them on it, right? That's like how I price out all of my video work. I do it by, once again, by produced minute of film, and I do it based on the average size that orders these. Like I said, I have a bunch of extra add-ons. I charge extra if they want a time lapse included in the video or a hyperlapse. Either one of those are applicable because the drone does a great hyperlapse. So that's usually what I use, but my slider also does a nice little time lapse, but I guess it's moving too. So it's hyperlapse. Either way, I digress. On to a moot point.
This is all a moot point.
Huh. A moo point?
It's like a cow's opinion.
So I have a bunch of random add-ons. I charge extra if agents want to be in it because that's more money for me. It allows a very basic pricing structure, so any agent can try out a video for kind of like a small amount. A 1-minute property film goes a long way in today's market because they can chop up that 1-minute film and deliver all kinds of little social media clips and highlights and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I price out all my video work. Like I said, I know I didn't give you any exact pricings really along the way. I've spouted out a few numbers, but that's just kind of like my rhythm and rhyme behind how I get to my video pricing number. If you don't know what your average operational costs and what you need to make to survive are, it'll be much more difficult for you to figure out what your video price is, but you also have to look around in the market around you. You want to make sure you can actually thrive in this market and not outprice yourself, which a lot of people are accustomed to doing because a lot of work goes into video. I totally understand. The real estate market is a little bit different, and that's really why I made this whole video. It's about all the information I got for you. Like, I mean, what more do you want? I told you how I break down my prices. Go out there, break down your prices, throw out some wild balls, throw out a high offer, see what sticks. I know what works for me and I know what works for my market. Figure out what works for you and your market. See what others are charging, and then you'll know exactly what you should be charging per produced video. If you like the information I presented and the way I presented it, as always, press like, mash subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.